Okay, so for this video, I'm going to expand the POSTYS 2x2 and show an in-depth guide on how to build the base that I built in a previous video, just a lot bigger, more in-depth, and with all of the different parts that are connected. And the loot rooms and all that crazy stuff. And it's also my interpretation, so it may not be exactly like his base, but it's just what I think would be a cool version of his expansion. And I saw a lot of people asking for a 2x2 expansion as well, or just a more in-depth guide in general, so I'm going to show you that really quickly and the best way to do that. So to start off, I'm going to start building just the 2x2 footprint, which is just like this. And then I'm going to lower my volume really quickly so then that isn't too loud for the building. Okay, there we go. So from here, I'll say one more thing before we get into that. The first thing is, build your foundations slightly high. And the reason for that is because for this section right here, we're going to grab an oil refinery. Wherever that is here. And so you'll see when we do this, like I showed in the other video, we can place the half wall. Just like so. Then we have a jump up like this. And then just surround your 2x2. And then I'm going to upgrade. We're going to go right to armored. Especially these foundations here, because you don't want people picking through them, and it can be a shortcut if they're not upgraded any higher. And then we'll do all the walls. All of the main core 2x2 I'm going to armor. This can sheet metal that floor. And then just like this. Also, if you place half walls, you can demolish the half wall, so you don't have to upgrade 2 walls. You can just do 1 to armored like that. And then we'll do ceilings. And definitely armor the ceilings. Like this. And then, since this is, I'm going to do a full in-depth guide for this video, so I'm going to show literally me placing every single item. And every single box and all of that. I'm going to show electricity as well. And for here, we're going to grab our TC, and I want to place it like this. And I'm not going to do code locks because it doesn't really matter for this, because I'm not like playing the server actually, but for you guys I would recommend it. Now when placing your boxes, do your first box like this and all the way up against the wall. And then your second box should be like this. You can get it right in like that. And then you can add your half wall here. And we'll come up and then place the boxes in the same way. You should be able to fit all of them like this, which is perfect. And you could still grab your TC and everything, as you can see. And then next, we're going to grab a tier 3 bench. We're going to put all the way in the corner as far up against the back wall as we can. Just like that. And then we'll grab a frame. And garage doors, obviously, all the way throughout this. Especially on the TC room. And we can grab a campfire here. And then I like to always, in every base I build, have bear rugs. It helps for comfort. It helps you heal. It'll be significantly useful. Like this. Now, for this area, when you're starting out, when you have your starter base, you can have furnaces. Like this. But since this is the final base, I'm not going to put furnaces there. And you can put a lot of different things. I'm going to put boxes, because if this was the final base, I would have a box. Or 2. Here. So we can throw 1 here. Get it all the way in the corner and up against that back wall. And then we can grab another box like here. I don't think this is placed perfectly. Let me do that again. If you need to open the garage door as well. But yeah, I like to have boxes. I just think it's the best thing. The more loot you have down here, the better. And then you can grab your mini box and put it under here. And then you have storage here. You have your main storage. This. And if you have one, throw a shotgun trap down. You should be able to get one here. Just like this. Okay, now we have a shotgun trap. And then you could come up to the top and let's do honeycombing quickly. Just like the triangles on the edge. And these triangles stay armored because you don't want, you could pick through them and that it'll open up to the oil refinery. And add your walls all the way around. And then this is gonna stay as a loot room here. Like this. And then the way to leave the base is gonna be, I mean, you could really do it either here or here. But I like to do it here the most. On this side, so you have your loot room, and then your jump up is gonna be here. So we'll put our boxes. We're gonna need a lot of boxes, so I'm gonna grab a million here. And if you want to maximize storage in your loot room, which I do recommend, you can get some miniature boxes here after you place the garage door. So here, make sure the box is all the way up against the wall. You can get miniature boxes. And it should be relatively easy to access all the different boxes as well, in case you're worried about that. Let's get garage doors all the way around the main area. We're going to need a lot of garage doors. Remember, this is a full expansion, so like, it's going to be expensive because this is like the end game for the white, basically. Okay, so now we have this, basically. And for now, we're just going to honeycomb these two sides all the way to the second floor. Just like this. And you can sheet metal this honeycombing. I'm not going to sheet metal all the honeycombing. But if you have the resources, I would highly recommend sheet metaling it. It's going to make it significantly more expensive, harder to raid. There's a lot of ways to get sheet metal pretty easily. And then for this section, this is going to be honeycomb. And this is going to be honeycomb. And then there's going to be a frame. This one stays honeycombing here. And then you can put a frame here. Here. And add your ceilings. So now we have our front entrance. Like I did in the other video, just about the same. All you really need to do is add your furnace. And you can hop up. And for this floor, I'm going to add furnaces all the way around. And you can replace this with electric furnaces if you prefer to use electric furnaces. I'm going to do normal furnaces though. But we can get plenty of furnaces all the way around. No issues with that. And then I'm going to fly out of the base here. And we're going to move on to the next section of the base. So basically, what you want to do is we're going to build sort of like these wide gaps like I did in the other video. But I didn't fully expand it. And I'm going to do it slightly different. So I'm going to do the basic 2x2 ring. And to do that, you have to start like this. Where you put a square out and then two triangles. And then from there, you're going to go triangle and double square. And then you can remove these. So now you have that there and this here. And we're going to do the same thing. So now we have this. And then for this side, we can just do square, triangle, triangle. And the same thing on this side. Square, triangle, triangle. And we'll repeat the same thing on this back side. Just like this. So we're going to copycat basically that beginning part where we do an extra triangle. And we do a square and a square. Just like that. So it's just about the same as we did in the first video. But slightly different. And we're going to add the triangles again. And the squares. So now it should go all the way around basically. Just like this. And these are all going to be actually placed blocks. So we're going to leave those and you can upgrade them right away. And the next section is we're going to add frames for our doors. We're gonna have 4 doors. Like this. 'Cause, you know, doors are good. And you can put windows here. Like this. For door campers. And you fill those in with the strengthened glass window. Don't do vertical embrasures or anything like that. We're going to use a lot of strengthened glass throughout the whole video. So make sure you get a ton of those ready. And then other than that, you can finish with your walls. Just like this. Yeah. So now we're at this, basically. Which looks relatively good. And then we're going to move on to the next floor of the base, basically. So all of this is going to basically stay honeycombing. This area right here. So you can add your honeycombing up to the next floor. On all 4 sides. And this floor that I'm building now isn't required. I'm mainly doing this for extra storage and electricity, which is the main reason I want to do this. But if you really don't want to do electricity, then you don't have to, and you can kind of skip this floor. But I would recommend it. And I also saw people saying that you shouldn't leave the jump up in the same place as it was before. You should try and have it in a different place. But in a 2x2, you can't really avoid it in some situations. Like, if I want a loot room here, then like it has to be, the jump up has to be here. If I want a loot room here, the jump up still has to be here. So there's nothing I can really do about that. I mean, the best I can do is have it come around like this. But it's not really going to change anything. So for now, for these first few floors, we're going to leave it as is. Because we're going to do this section right here. And we're going to make this electricity. So we're going to grab a large battery. You really, really, really want to have a large battery. I highly, highly recommend it. Just get your large battery there for now. And then we'll add all the other components later. And then you can add this for doors. Like this. And then for extra storage, you could throw a box down in here too. Like this. I don't think I can get, yeah, you can't really get the frame. And then you could put a few more boxes along the edge. So now you have extra storage and extra boxes. You don't have to have this many. I'm just showing you that you can. And then you could put your ceilings basically. And so we have electricity, which we're going to do later once we have the base complete because we don't have windmills yet. Now I'm going to basically increase the height of all of the outer wall up to where it is, the base, how high the base is right now. All the way around. So now it's up to here. And basically now we're going to do the peaks. So this is where it gets slightly more complicated. And it's going to be a little weird. So for this part of the base, actually, we're going to stop going up at this point. And we're going to leave these as honeycomb. So when you jump out here, these walls and the walls behind you are going to stay as honeycomb. You can honeycomb all of this. Like that, and then the same thing on the back here. And then these walls are going to be slightly different. So you can close that. You can have this just as another room for loot. So you can have another section, a higher up loot room, since we didn't do one before. And this base is big, and I understand it's big, and Posty usually plays solo when he builds this base, but you can have like multiple people in this base. It's not that expensive to build. It's not that difficult or complicated, and it's a really good base to expand and build. So like you can have like 3 to 4 or 5 people, 6 people even in a base like this without any problem. That's why we're putting so many loot rooms. And then you could also add another frame here and throw 2 more boxes down up above. So that's about it for storage. Plenty of storage, plenty of room. There should be no issues with storage. And we'll throw our garage doors down. And then the next thing I'm going to do before I continue is I'm going to sheet metal all of the ceilings all the way down to the base, basically, to back to the core, because it's important to have those. So just, I highly recommend doing that before you continue. So now that we have this, we're going to add a frame, frame, and frame. And we're going to honeycomb this off. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. So frame, frame, frame. And we're going to honeycomb this off. You can add a wall here, and your ceilings, and then garage doors. And garage doors. And then sealing this off. So we're closing this off completely. And then now we're going to start building our peaks. So the peaks get a little complicated. Although this isn't like a crazy design, there's plenty of videos that are similar where people do the same ring and have the same, it's a common expansion. I just wanted to show it with how Posty usually does his 2x2 in the center. And I feel like I haven't seen a video like this that's actually recent enough. So that's why I'm doing this mainly. And I forgot we should also add our front doors. And you could do these sheet metal double doors as well if you want. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. Okay, now to do the peaks. So the first thing you're going to want to do, basically, is for this section where you have these floors here, we're going to do a, we're going to bring the floor down a little bit, but not all the way. So what you want is a half wall like this. And we're trying to get these, it's these little, boxes here, where you kind of can, like, jump in, sort of, and have, like, a shooting area. So, to do this, what you want is to go down, and you want to do it like this. So you have this half wall, and you add your windows. So it's sort of like this little box you can shoot from. Like this. And that's basically what you're going to do for only one of two of the corners. So it doesn't really matter, or one of four. It doesn't really matter which corners you do, but just, I'm going to build the other one over here. I'm sorry, 2 of 4 of the corners. So the same thing, you just come down one floor, and then you put a half wall, and the floor, you break it, and then you add your windows. Like this, basically. So that's, and make sure they're symmetrical. And then after this is a really important step. You have to do this before you start building the peaks, is place your frames here. Because you can actually get a ladder hatch on both of these. Which we're going to do. And we're going to grab them and place the thing away from you, or the ladder away. So when you drop down, you could just go down, and you can shoot. And you could go back up really quickly. And we're going to have this on only 2 of the sides. Like this. And next is the actual peaks. So for the peaks, we're going to do it slightly different. We're going to have triangles that stick out like this on both sides where these squares are. Like this. And then the squares where we didn't put the ladder hatch, we're going to do frames. And we're going to do more ladder hatches, basically. I will show why in a second. And then you're going to put the triangles there again. So now we have all 4 of the corners done. The only section we haven't really done is right here. And to do this, there's a few different ways you kind of can do this. But my preference is kind of like this, because I feel like there's no need in really making it so skinny or anything like this. I don't feel like that benefits anything. I feel like it makes it easy to fall through. So I just like to have it like this, and you have perfect visibility through the whole thing. I mean, it's more than enough to kill anyone. There's nowhere to really hide. You're perfectly fine. And we're going to do that on all 4 sides. So it's just a square, and then the triangles. Square, and then the triangles. And then the triangles again. And that's how it basically is all the way around. As you can see, perfect peaks. They're perfectly fine. They work great. And it's optional to add vertical embrasures for this. I wouldn't recommend doing any embrasures or whatever. And then for the next step, like we did before, we added these ladder hatches. And the reason for this is so you can get into the peaks from when you're down below. And whatever side the ladder it comes down on, so if it's up against this wall or this wall, just place the ladders on the opposite wall. So then you can come up them and you could just jump in and come up and close it. And we'll do the same thing on this side. You can see the ladder comes down this way, so we're gonna do it like this and like this. And you can come up like this. And that's pretty much it for the peaks. And then for the next part, what you're gonna do is place a half wall section. And this is really, really common for bases that have this outer peak section, because if you don't do this, then the floors usually won't align with the ceilings, and there'll be these weird peaks where you can fall all the way through. So usually you're gonna have to do this. But before we fully complete that, we're going to have to add frames here for stability. Just like this. So now we have frames for stability, which are going to help a lot, and you can add your ceilings. Sorry, don't add your ceilings like that. What I meant is add, where is it? A frame. Because this is going to be the way up. Just like this. So next, we're going to start building the ceiling for the entire base, which is a little complicated, but if you just watch closely, you'll figure it out. So on all four sides, we have this same little square and two triangles. And then you're going to add the triangles here, fill it in, just like this. And then for this part, once you have it all the way around, so once you have this section like this, we're going to try and keep it going by having squares like this and like this. So you go triangle, square, square, and then you turn around and do the same thing on the identical side, and you have this. And then to finish it, you just add your triangles on this side, and add your triangles on this side. And then finally, you can go all the way around like this. And then the final step is just where you can add these half walls here. Like this. Because as you can see, you can't really get walls in here. I mean, there are some places, like you can get a wall here, and you can get some here, which we can do, but you can't really get them everywhere. You're blocked for some reason on some angles, which I haven't really figured out why that is exactly. Like on certain sides you can place certain building blocks, but you can't do it everywhere. Only like this for stability. It's a little weird, but that's pretty much what we're left with. And you can come up here, and now we're at this part of the base. And we're going to add our ladder hatches on all four sides. Just like that. And then we're going to move on to the outer peaks and the bedrooms and all of that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is we're going to place our roofs for the outer peaks. And the way this goes is really simple on this base. It's just triangles like this all the way, and triangles like that. So you do triangle, 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 and then you do two pointing out like this. And you just repeat this on every side. Just like that. Not complicated. Really easy. And then next, we're going to start building the inner section. Okay, so now we're going to start building the inner section. And to do that, it's going to be a little weird, but I actually really like this design. So we have these four triangles in the center, and what you're going to do is place a frame, and then walls here. And then place another frame, and then wall it like this, so you have this inner hallway section, sort of. just like this. And then for the next part, we're going to do like the bedrooms and the jump up. And to do this, you're going to look for this little section right here, as there's like these triangles in the middle, and then you have a square and then a square like this. So what you're going to do is place a frame and a frame on the other side, and then 2 more frames. And again, 2 more frames. So one of these is going to be your bedroom on each side, and one of them is going to be the jump up. So for here, we'll do this. The jump up. And then this one will be the bedroom. And try, if you can, make these walls windows. Because it will help to see if people are roaming around in your peaks and stop you from getting door camped or whatever it may be. So now you have the same thing, so your jump up's here, and then you want to make your jump up on the opposite side. So we'll do it like this. And then we'll have this as our bedroom, which I'm going to fill in all of this later. And then you can add your ceilings here. So that center section's complete. Now we can work on the actual peaks. So you're going to need a lot of embrasures and, as always, a lot of sheet metal doors. And the first thing you're going to want to do is find this section here, where there's these 3 triangles next to each other, and place 3 frames. And do that on all 4 sides. And this is mainly for stability, so you have this. And now add ceilings to all of them. I can do it. Here we go. And then connect them to your main ceiling. Just like this. And then, if you can, slowly start to go out and build your ceilings according to your stability. Like so. This will make it easier to build the peaks when we start placing the doors. Okay, finally you have this. And now let's come down. Let's build the doors. So the doors, basically, you want your door to swing right every single time. So just imagine it. It has to be like this. I'm gonna start on the right side of a 3 triangle. So it's right door here, and then it's on the right again and on the right again. And this allows your doors to swing out. Properly. Just like this and like this. Okay? And we're going to repeat the same thing on every side, so just watch me again if you're confused. Door on the right, door on the right, door on the right, door on the right. Make sure they're swinging outward. This stops people from being able to get in and get out. And then you could add your ceilings. And we'll move on to the next section. Same exact thing again. Your doors. And one more time. And then, like I said, doors swing out. And then finally, we're going to, and the only areas we didn't build is just build 2 floors, or build 2 windows. And then that will complete your, the outer peaks. And then from here, we can come up to the top, just throw the missing ceilings down. Like so. And then obviously add your vertical embrasures. Boom. And I missed the ceiling, whoops. And as you can see, you can't fall in unless you get boosted, and you can't fall out unless you get boosted or close the door. So now, we're going to go through, we're going to add some doors, and we're going to add our windows all the way around. fine. I think I missed placing the windows at some points, yeah. It's my mistake. Just go back and place your window. I mean, you don't need to have windows here. It's not really required, but I would recommend it. It's kind of nice knowing where people are in your base so that you know that they're not like roaming around and like with DBs or something trying to grub you or whatever. Throw that down, and then we'll continue adding stuff. So I'm gonna go in here, and I'm gonna grab a few extra garage doors, but we're gonna need lockers and we're gonna need beds. So grab as many lockers as you can get, and find wherever bed is here. So to do this, basically, you could throw 1 bed, 2 bed, and then locker. And you could add your garage doors. Okay. And then add another garage door for the jump up. And then that is one section of this completed. And you could add little boxes here as well. Or extra storage loot. And then next, we're going to repeat the same exact thing with the bedroom. I don't know where all those beds... Oh, there. I see. And place your bed like this. In your locker again. Okay, and once you place your locker, you can throw down your garage door. All the way around. Just like this. And then here as well. And your box. Boom. And then the only section left that we really have to do, and you can add small boxes all the way around on these windows, but this is optional. It's like preference, I guess, mainly. That's not really something that is required, but it also helps with storage a little bit, so we can go around and throw our small boxes all the way. It could make a pain. This is why I'm not really a fan of this, but I'll just show you how you do it. If people do want to do something like this, to help you get that extra boosted angle. Go all the way around. So now you could sort of jump on these boxes and get this nice angle to shoot. Like that. And then finally, the intersection, where we're going to throw these garage doors here, in here, and we're going to put a locker. And more lockers. And then too many boxes like this. And then, something that I would recommend is a repair bench up here. And maybe you can throw a different type of bench, or if you want 2 repair benches, or even like a research bench or a box or something. But I recommend having like a repair bench, because if your guns break, you can put repair mats and build mats and stuff like that in this section in case you're getting online raided. It's a nice thing to have. And you could place some boxes under these. And then, moving on, now that this section's complete, we can head to our way up, which is right here. Jump. And now we're at the final floor of the base. And to do this, we're basically going to try and do minicopter garages combined with some vending machines so you can have shops. So the minicopter section is going to be on these squares here. So like the ones that are opposite from these triangles. And then your shopping, your vending machines are going to be on these triangles. Or yeah, these triangles here. So you want them to be sort of like aligned like this. And then for the rest of it, you're going to do windows once again. Like this. And then we grab our reinforced and go all the way around. And then we have that. And we'll add our garage doors, and make sure these are garage doors so you can have the mini copter come in and out. And I need one more vending machine. So then you can throw these for shops, which is really helpful. And then for this, what we're going to do is we're going to go here and here, and we're going to go here. And the same thing on this side. So we're going to block this off, and we're going to do the same thing here. Leave that open, sorry, and block this off. So this is what we have right now. Sort of roundabout S shape. And we're going to add our frame, and basically this is for jump ups and then vending machine access as well, which will help. And then it'll also give access to like the mini copter garage, and if you want to get out on the roof here. So we're going to add garage door, and then the same thing where we have a jump up, and you can grab your box and put the box to the garage door first. Put the box under as always. Gonna need more garage doors. So like this, and then you could add your garage doors. And then we're gonna repeat the same thing on this side, where we have this jump up. And then we can put the box under for extra storage up here. And then same thing where we add our garage doors. And come all the way around. So now we have this, and then you can drive your mini copter in, and you could drive it out, which will make it really easy to use. And then we're just going to add our ceilings on everywhere but the jump up. And we have this, and then we could fill this in. And that is basically all the floors done with the building. And then the final step is basically to add the roofs, which you just go around and try and place them. And if you have stability issues, you could just go down and place a frame where it's necessary. And then boom, you can place the roof with no problem. And for this section, you have to do the triangle roofs, and boom, another stability issue. Come down and add your frames. Or you could just go around beforehand and place all your frames, whatever works. Boom, boom, and you could see that this obviously will look a little bit weird, but just trust the process and go all the way around. And boom, stability issue. And if you want to just come around like this, place all the frames beforehand, whatever works better for you. And boom. And we'll just go around again. Try and get all of our ceilings done. Roofs. You could zoom through this quickly when you could fly. I don't know why I did triangles here. I meant the big roofs. And then now you have the roofs on your base, and you have access to this floor. So then you could take heli, do whatever. And then the final thing before I start going back and placing all the boxes is adding the windmills. And to do this, you're looking for a few different places, basically. The first being here and here. And the reason for this is because this is the opposite of the triangles. And then if you want to add your triangles for the windmill, you could just throw them up here, just like this, right above your entrance. And go up 3 stories with these frames. And you're not required to have 4 windmills, but we're going to do 4 windmills. And then like this, all the way around. And then for the triangle ones, place a triangle out. And then grab your windmills. Like this. And just place them. And if you don't, obviously you're not going to be flying, so I'm going to show you this first actually. You can craft some netting. It's only 1 rope. And you could, for coming up on this section, You just kind of want to put your netting in a place where you can actually like sort of climb up and get to the top of these. So for this, it doesn't really matter. I could just throw it here and zoom up like this. Just like that. And then for these sections, if you like, I mean, you have these garage doors, so it doesn't really matter what side you particularly do it on, but I could just do it like this to get up, and then the opposite here. And then you could just like climbing a ladder, it's really easy. And you could just come down and place your windmills. And on all four sides. And now that is the completed base. But I want to go back, upgrade a bunch of things, and really quickly show you what I want, and then we're going to do some turrets as well. So basically 4 big turret locations for this base. You could probably guess where. In the inner peaks, in each of the corners. 1, 2, 3, and finally 4. So we have our 4 turrets set up, and I'm gonna upgrade base. We're going to sheet metal on the intersection, 100%. Obviously, you don't have to do this. If you have the resources, go ahead. If you don't, then don't. I want to upgrade all of the inner area, sheet metal, or as much of it as I possibly can. Go all the way through. Boom. Now that's all sheet metal. And let's walk through before we start adding some stuff to the center. We could add some stuff to the outer rings, and we already got furnaces, so now comes the sort of like extra stuff. If you want like a quick locker kit, or you want some bags, you want a research bench, you want some of these benches for tech trees, or you want your stations here, we could come over here and we could throw some boxes. So we have a box here and a box here. And we do the same thing on the complete opposite side. So yeah, now you have 4 solid depot boxes. And then we could do it where we find places for these alchemy stations, so you could fit them in here. I mean, I don't know why the rotation is extremely weird. To be honest, it's like very, very odd. I'm not really sure if you could fit 2 here, to be completely honest. You might be able to, but for now I'm just gonna leave it at 1, because that's really weird rotation. I mean, you might be able to really squeeze 2 in there, but I don't think so. So we can get our alchemy benches, so for gunpowder and all of that, in these underground sections right here. Just really a pain to place, but you could throw them down really easily. That's 4, that should be enough. Final one, and then I'm sure you're gonna want some type of research bench, which you could place under one of these boxes. That is not what I meant to do. You could do that like this. And here. And then that's about everything you're gonna need. I mean, you could pick up the benches, but if you want, you could do this. And tier 1 for extra tech treeing, stuff like that. You could throw small boxes or big boxes down here extra, like this. Just fill it in, depending on what you need. The only thing I could think of that you might actually want other than that is like a fridge. Chuck a fridge down. And then I'm gonna do pythons for these turrets. You could do bolties or whatever you want. Put your gun in, put your ammo. And then do that for all the turrets. This will make it so it's hard for people to roam around in the middle of your base. There, and there. And then finally, we're just gonna come and sheet metal these foundations. There's a very good reason for this. Stability, we don't want these breaking during a raid. That would not be good. as I accidentally broke that one before, and somewhere on the base, something fell. I'm not exactly sure where, to be honest, but one of the roofs or something broke a little bit somewhere because I did that, because that thing got smashed. But next, we're gonna head inside the base like this. Keep metal as much as I see as I can. Just like this. Boom. Perfect. Now we're sheet metaled. This floor is already okay. This floor has no issues. And now for the batteries. Now, I don't want to give you a full tutorial on electricity because that takes a long time and that would be a completely different video. But we're going to need some root combiners. And we are going to need an electrical tool. To do this, basically, you just want to go like this and head up to the top of your base. Go to the windmill wherever the power is coming out. I'm not going to make the electricity all pretty because, like, you know, this is just a test. But in the base, you can wire it all nice and stuff. Come down and put your power in the first one. And then do this on the top. And then I'm going to bring the other windmills down quickly. So we have it here. And we have it here. And then the next windmill. And we go here. And then we could do one more windmill. And we're going to need one more root combiner. Here. Then we'll come up. And... did I do 3 already? Oh, I did 3 already. Okay, never mind. I was right. Come down to here. And do this. Yeah, I did 3. Okay. So, now, I could take this and put the power in to the battery. I'm gonna not fly to make this, so you could look through stuff in case you're worried about that. Now, we're gonna come and we're gonna do this. Splitters. Our output. We're gonna split like this. Then we could do this. We have a main splitter here. And we don't actually need a splitter yet, so we're going to grab... the only thing you need really now is some switches here. So we take one of these. We're going to put this into the switch. And then the switch is going to go into this. And then I need another splitter. So we're going to go... the output is in this here, and then the splitter. We're going to go here. We're going to power on our turrets. Boom. Here. Here. Oops. And then the last one. And you could add another 2 turrets here. Because, oops, what I meant to do. Sorry. Because we're doing 4 turrets, we need to put this into the in of this, because we're going to need multiple splitters, and then just use these 2 sections to do the last 2 turrets. Yeah, so come around, find them, boom, turrets are here, turrets are on, hit your switch, come out here, and I don't think all the turrets are on. I mean, they sound like they're on. I think it's just a bug actually right now. Like they're this, yeah, there you go. It was just a little delayed. I'm sure it's just the same thing for these ones, but I mean the battery has to charge obviously, but this will turn all your turrets on, and you could turn them off with this. And then you could do lights as well, so if you want to come, or I'll just give you an example, turrets, and we gotta do lights. My inventory is a mess. Just say you want to do some lights, you can go throughout your whole base, and you could take it for this first splitter. You could do another switch like this, And then you can grab another splitter and do this. You come here into the splitter. And then you have your switch. Actually, you don't need a splitter, sorry. And then you could just connect all of your things with using pass-through. And then at nighttime, if I can get this thing to work. At nighttime, you could just hit this switch, and lights go on, and turrets go on. And the base is all powered and electrical and beautiful. And then let's move on to the next floor. And we're going to sheet metal some more. Boom. And just this last section right here. Now, we're fully sheet metaled. We're good. The only thing you can really do now is maybe add some electric furnaces. Here. And you can set these up with power. And you can do industrial crafters. I'm not going to do a whole industrial video right now, but if you want that, I can show that later on. And then only really thing left is wherever you want. Or I would recommend, I mean, it's a little different now that the sleeping bag feature has been added into the game. But you can grab some bags and just throw some bags down for everyone. And then that is basically the entire base. You have, I'll go through it one more time. Your outer peaks here. Boom, you can get up into them from here. And then sort of like the posty core of the 2x2 where you come up, you have your boxes, you come down, you know, oil refinery, main loot. You can come up one more floor, more loot, boxes, and then your last little section of loot. You have your peaks where you can go down or come up. And you have these little boxes where you can shoot. Just fine. This section's kind of stuck like that. If you guys know a solution for that, let me know, by the way, because I don't know a solution. And then you can head up to the next floors, which I don't think I showed, but this is really easy to jump up to. Boom. You're up. You're good. And then you have bedrooms, locker rooms. You come around. More lockers. More bedrooms. Go the way up. Vending machines. Another way up. Military, or not military, minicopter, and then you have the final roof with the thingies, the windmills, and that's the entire base. That was a long ass video, but that was pretty much everything for the entire base. If you want a sheet metal, you can. If you want to see where is this at? The resources required. There it is in the top right. 100,000, 101,000 stone. 22,000 wood, 18,000 metal frags, and 350 high qual. It's expensive, it's big, but it's totally a doable base. It's not that bad, monthly server or whatever. You can farm this up in a day. It's not horrible. And then let's get to the upkeep. 30,000 stone, 12,000 metal frags, 100,000 or 107 high quality. Not horrible, not bad. Pretty doable, honestly. Obviously, this is a bigger size base, so maybe a slightly bigger group would be building this. Ah, here's where it broke from earlier. Nice. And that's pretty much it. This is like the fully expanded base. I showed you pretty much all the deployables, so it was quite in-depth. I showed you everything, the full expansion. A bunch of people asked for this. A bunch of people asked for the POSTY expansion, and a bunch of people asking for a 2x2 expansion, so I just combined it into one video. And I think this base really works well. And I think I kind of kept the core concept by not turning it into a huge clan base, because at the core it's just still a basic 2x2. And other than that, yeah. If you want to see like a non 2x2 design, like a 3x3, 5x5, 1x2, 2x3, something different, just let me know and I'll work on that. Or if you want to see, if you prefer like smaller versions of bases like I've been doing, then I can just continue to do that as well. Just let me know. And that's about it for this one.